house of random, I wouldn't say useless, but just random stuff.
And you're going to Chili's to sit down with the fam, and a goddamn robot pulls up and tries to serve you. You're like, excuse me. I'd like to be a gallon of milk that expires, maybe the 23rd, the 24th, instead of, maybe the 15th, the 16th. You know what I'm saying?
What is up, everybody? Welcome back. Welcome if you're new. My name would be Evan. You can call me E, Ev, Red, Captain Redbeard, Eel Sauce, Big Red Bastard, fucking Ginger Jesus, Son of Ritz, Gnarly Nick 2.0. Shit. We go by a whole bunch of names. Big Red Bastard. I don't know if we said that one. We go by a whole bunch of names. Welcome. Here we are. Today is the 16th, Saturday the 16th, at approximately 11:08 p.m. Here we are. Yet another week down, and yeah, back in familiar territory. I got a guest with me this time. She is a little bit shy. She's acting like she wants to leave right now, but she'll get used to it. She'll be fine. And we're talking about a cat. We just have her in here because some of the other kitties like to kind of pick on her because she's a little smaller, a little more petite. Been watching the streams, twitch.tv/EelSauce, link in the description. You might have seen her a couple times on stream. I've had her in my room before. I'll probably have her in my room tonight later when I am streaming. But yeah, I'm watching out for her because all these other motherfuckers are trying to be bullies. We don't fuck with bullies. So she may not like my loud ass voice yapping for however long we yap, but I promise it's better than the alternative. So yeah, she's just over there. So if I keep looking over there, looking off over here, it's just because Tiny's over there. But yeah, what's up, everybody? Today's Saturday, the night before Thanksgiving. Holy shit, I'm not even that cooked. St. Patrick's Day, St. Patty's Day is tomorrow. The amount of fucking people tell me that I should fucking dress up as a leprechaun, or that I'm a leprechaun, or I should wear green. I get it, it's that time of year, it's fucking. This must be how Jesus felt near his birthday, near Christmas time. He's like, all right, guys, all right, cool. I get it. Yeah, no. But I'm playing around. I will be wearing green because who the fuck decided he can pinch people if they don't? We'll be wearing green to keep all the pinch goblins away. But yeah, I'm gonna be drinking tomorrow. I'm gonna be drinking some Mickey's because what else are we gonna do? So definitely want to be tuned into the stream tomorrow. We'll be doing a loose approximate Edward 40 hands because unfortunately I do have to work on Monday. Yeah, I have to work Monday, so it won't be duct tape to your hands type beat, but we will have some Mickey's 40s. We'll be sipping on those puppies during a stream, so I would not miss out if I were you. Again, link will be in the description. Also, go check out the Discord. Pull up in the Discord so you don't miss out on anything. Yeah, we've been going fucking ham on the fucking streams. Today is day 47. Will be today 47 when I stream after this. So you don't want to miss out. I've been streaming live 47 days, pal. 47 days plus by the time this comes out. So if I were you, I wouldn't be missing out. But hey, that's just me. But yeah, nothing too crazy's been going on. Just kind of a mundane week. Last week was more fun and exciting. I don't think I recapped. No, I don't think I did. If I did, then we're recovering it, but I'm pretty sure it's new info. Because by the time I recorded it and dropped the episode last week, I don't think this had happened yet. So Sunday, it was Friday through Sunday for the Tattoo Expo. And I went Saturday, got blasted, which, by the way, healing really fucking well. Really fucking well. I know it's already just been a week, but it's healing really well. We got that dude on Saturday. So then we came back Sunday because we had the weekend pass. And so we came back Sunday because I slept all of Friday because I got blown off for the fucking for a job interview I was trying to do. So that kind of I woke up and especially whatever, got prepared for it, and then just didn't materialize. But so I fucked off Friday when I wanted to go. But anyway, so on Sunday, went back on Sunday, was there again. Shout out Sarah, Sriracha Ink, Bloodless Tattoo, all that on Instagram. Go check her out. She's awesome. We're at her booth, chilling. It was more of a casual day because she did two intentional pieces, my piece, and somebody else. I got something on like their torso rib area. Those were the pieces that she wanted to do for the convention. And then I believe Friday and Sunday were like walk-ups, walk-ins, whatever the fuck you want to call them. And so it was cool. Shout out Sarah on Instagram as well. So we both have been following Sarah, a different Sarah, another Sarah, Sarah 2.0. Okay, her and I have been following Sarah from Bloodless Tattoo, our tattoo artist. We've been following her for a while, and we'd see each other's names in the comments and shit like that, because we gotta support Sarah 1.0 because you're making dope shit, right? So we're in the comments and whatnot. And we met each other at the convention on Sunday in person, and she was talking to Sarah 1.0. She pulled up and we were whatever. Met her on IG anyway, or met her in real life, and then I was like, I'm pretty sure because we also follow a few other similar artists, which I'm still blown. I didn't know there was like a handful of artists that I follow on Instagram, because my Instagram is like, the algorithm's fucked, but a lot of mine is like tattoos and tattoo recommendation stuff. So I follow a bunch of local artists as well as like other people from around the world. Anyway, I was blown that I missed some other people, because I was like, you're at the convention. I didn't see till Sunday afterwards or Monday that they're like, oh, it was a great time at the tattoo expo. And I was like, oh, you were there? And I walked around the whole bitch. I was there 2 days. Like, I didn't fucking. I'm a big brain. I have a huge extended cranium with a very high IQ. Anyway, so I met Sarah 2.0 at the convention with Sarah 1.0, and I was like, I'm pretty sure we both fuck with Sarah and blah blah blah. And she's like, are you the fucking? Because my profile picture on Instagram is just a dog, and I haven't posted up until recently. And I mean, recently is in like 2022, I think, is when I posted. Before that wasn't since 2018. So I use my account. Well, the older I got, because I've had my account for almost, it was last year was 10 years. So I've had Instagram since like 2013, late 2013. So the older I've gotten, the less I post and the more I just like and watch other stuff, if that makes sense. So she's like, are you the dude, fucking this guy, and fucking hasn't posted in a minute or whatever? And I'm like, yep, that's me, fucking dog face. And she's like, yep, I recognize it. And it's funny because she got a piece that I saw later on Instagram. I saw it in person. She got a cute little it was really well done too, but it was like a black and gray little shrimp on her thigh. Really fucking sick. Or I guess that's her calf, not her fucking thigh. I know body parts. On her calf. And it was really cute. And I was like, that's hard. So that was cool. And then it turns out she and another guy she was with, I forget his name. I hadn't seen him in a long time until this point. I think it was since high school, I hadn't seen them. But I guess we both went to the same school around the same time. And vaguely, and I had to remember, I was like, wait a minute. You look completely different, as do I, from back then. But I'm pretty sure I fucking remember you. And so that was cool. And homie, he was getting his calf blasted. So it was honestly really fucking fun. And so yeah, met up again with Sarah, met people that had been following, whatever. And then we immediately, as pretty much as soon as I got there, we went and signed up because there's a contest. So they're doing multiple contests throughout the weekend and for different things and whatever. So I entered the contest for extra large, black and gray, or color. Was the category for the contest. I was 24, Kobe. I was 24. So and there's still a group of people behind me. So we'll call it maybe like 30 people entered. And fuck, dude, these people got so, honestly, it was so much fun. And I forgot how much fun it was last year, because last year I was definitely saucing, because I wasn't getting a piece last year. I was fucking guzzling down these strong ass $6 rum and cokes, right? So I wasn't really as tapped into as much as I was this year, because I was sober the whole time. And it was just so cool to see all different people, all different pieces, all different kinds of work. The dude in front of me that we ended up, because it was numbered, and he was like 21 and I was 24, but there hadn't been the people in between, so we were just chopping it up for a minute while everyone's like lining up and asking each other. He previously, you could double dip, you can do multiple different ones. There was one for sleeves, back pieces, and just that day, so I think it was like sleeves, back pieces, or back and torso pieces, and then extra large black and gray and color. And the dude in front of me that I was talking to for a little bit, he was fucking cool. And I wish I forgot. I wish I remember his name because I forget too. Um, he had a half, like traditional Japanese back from like, his back, sides, and like on the butt cheek of like a Japanese traditional, but it was just half of his back. And I had never seen that before, at least not in person or that I can recall. Because usually when you do traditional Japanese, it's like the whole, especially on your back, it's the whole back and onto like the upper part of your butt and lower back by like your tailbone. But he just had the one half, his left side, and it looked really fucking cool. And then his leg was something to do with like lotus and something really sick as well. So he was entering his leg. The dude behind me had like a fucking full color, like realistic. I forgot. Honestly, there was so much cool shit. I forget who had what. I think it was Star Wars related. And then the people actually in front of me, 23 and 22, they both, by the same artist, had really sick fucking sleeves. Really sick Star Wars sleeves. And I don't even like something like that franchise wise to get a tat of it. But dude, they did it so fucking well, or the artist did it so fucking well. Like, for example, there was one of them, there was a green lightsaber, and the green lightsaber itself looked so vibrant, but then on the character, like let's say Yoda was holding like an extended green lightsaber, you could see the glow like on Yoda's face and his body and like on the other side from the lightsaber that he was holding. Like it was fucking sick. So well detailed. One dude, I think it was the boyfriend, had Palpatine going like this using force lightning in his bicep area right here. Yeah, it was like this bicep area, and he had Palpatine force lightning. So his face and then like lightning in his hands going down this way. The lightning was literally like looked like it was lighting up his arm. It looked so fucking cool, and their pieces were both 8 months to like a year or something like that. So not necessarily completely healed or whatever the fuck, but they aren't fresh off just like a couple month, couple weeks, whatever, and looking that good. Like they still look that fucking good. And the girlfriend, she had like Princess Leia and some other female characters on her forearm and some shit. And the dude, like I said, he had like Vader up here, Palpatine, Force Lightning. It was fucking sick, honestly. So there was 3 judges, and they had like kind of similar to like what do you call it? Little boxes for championships. It was like Olympics, like 3rd place, 2nd place, 1st place, right? But it wasn't quite staggered like that. It was just 2 like this and then 1 up like this. So some people were standing on like the whole box, and it was very cool and very interesting. I noticed. So let's say there was 30 people that enter the contest for sleeves. Maybe half a dozen people did leg sleeves. So majority of the people did arm full sleeves. Maybe half a dozen people did leg sleeves. And I think of the half a dozen people that did leg sleeves, I think it was one dude that had his legs fully blasted. He had both legs fully blasted and onto the tops of his feet. That was gnarly. But every other person that had their hip down to the fucking ankle was fully blasted. All women, and specifically women that were like 5'5" and below. Like petite ass women, just full leg blasted. And I just thought that was awesome. I was like, that's fucking gnarly and badass. And like, you have such a cool image thingy, and like the just again, like I said a few episodes ago, now being on the receiving end or the other side of sitting down and getting tattooed, I look at tattoos not only as like, oh, that's cool placement, that's cool design. I think of like, oh, like pain, like that fucking hurt. You did that spot, you had that. One of these ladies had a photorealistic black and gray all from her hip all the way down to her ankle of like a woman and all this crazy intricate shit. Photorealistic fucking black and gray. oh my God, I cannot imagine how much time that took. I can't imagine how fucking painful that was. It looked so good. So I thought it was badass that a bunch of these fucking tiny ass women are just getting full fucking. I don't think I would be able to do it. It would take me a long time. This piece that I got right here, that's this like this big from there to there, is the closest I've been to tapping out. Like I said last episode, like tapping out and being done and whatever the fuck. I cannot imagine. Of course, it goes piece by piece. I saw another woman who was getting the same fucking thing at the convention, and it is piece by piece. But these women are fucking metal. Like they are. I don't. I don't think I could, because there was a dude that was really cool, a couple booths over, that was also like friendly or friend whatever relationship with my artist Sarah, and so he'd come over a couple times while I was getting tatted, whatever, and he was cool. And the woman that he was doing, a woman the same day, Saturday, and from again hip down to ankle, and I believe they went from ankle up. Yeah, they went ankle up. So I saw her while I'm laying down on the table getting blasted. I saw her walk around a couple times, just slow, like the outlines were there, and slowly but surely, again, like photorealistic black and gray, slowly but surely, like brick by brick, just more of her leg just becoming this beautiful, like black and white photo looking whatever. And they stopped when they got like halfway to like the leg, or halfway up the leg, like by the knee, and then they resumed it on Sunday and kept going all the way up the thigh. Incredible, dude. And they said at the point that she was on Saturday when they had stopped, they were probably double digit hours. He's like, yeah, we're probably hit like 10 hours or so, something like that. Which I totally believe that, because like I said, my piece, which is only like a portion of my leg and not even all of the area, that without breaks and without the time in between, straight tattooing was 6.5 hours. So I could totally see black and gray, photorealistic, whole fucking leg up and down. Yeah, that's gonna take some fucking time. But yeah, it was really, really cool to see other people's work. I love seeing all these tattooed women, like these older women, like full sleeves. I thought that was badass, because you don't really. My mom talked about it. Like she got a tattoo in the '80s when she was like 14 of her at the time boyfriend, soon to be my dad. She had his initials on her hand, and she got that removed at, for whatever reasons, this, that, and this third. But she talked about like the stigma of tattooed women and all that. And there were women that were way older. Well, I'm not trying to diss these women, but there were women that were adults at the same time that my mom had tattoos, and were fully fucking sleeve. Like you could tell, like they've had this ink for years. And I just think that's so fucking cool, because it's whatever for like a dude, especially back then, or like back then to now, of like, oh, the Marine or the Navy guy got an anchor or got a fucking what, that was like the first door of acceptance, because they used to say the only people that got tattoos are fucking, you're either a criminal in prison or you're like in the Navy or whatever, right? So that was kind of like the first branch, or foot in the door, if you will, for the acceptance that we have nowadays and continuing going forward. But not to be a woman and be absolutely added, especially back then, you have all my respect, because that's when there was actual like stigma and bullshit attached to it. Nowadays, you can be a fucking asshole with a face tattoo and fucking knuckle tattoos and hand tattoos and go work at Taco Bell. It's not as crazy nowadays. Which, don't get me wrong, I love that. That's awesome. That's the way it should be, and even more like this. But yeah, they most definitely, I guess, yeah, earned their ink, because they had to go through some bullshit to do that, some underground bullshit, just the technology at the time when they were doing it. So much respect for these people. But yeah, it was really cool. Oh my god, dude. This one guy, holy shit. So this man was a high calorie human being. He was just in all proportions huge. We're talking probably 6'3" height, probably 5'5" width. Okay, maybe that's crazy, not 5'5", but he was a big canvas, a big old boy, and he had on his fucking back. Because what would happen is that I was standing to, if you're on stage, I was standing to the right hand corner, but from our perspective in the crowd, I was on the left hand side of the stage. So you would get, the judges are in the middle, they look at your shit, and then you walk up to the side, and then a dude would take a photograph of it, and then you'd fuck off. And so when the people would come over to get the photograph and whatever the category was, that's when you could see the pieces easier. So this dude, big old boy, had a fucking photorealistic, that's like the theme of this episode, a photorealistic anglerfish inside of an anemone. So that fish in Finding Nemo that has a little bobbler thing that uses that to attract fish and eat them, he had that fucker on his back inside of Nemo's home. Yes, those little purple tentacle thingies that kind of hurt if you touch them or whatever the fuck. He had the angler dude inside one of those on his back, and it looked like a picture from Nat Geo, except it was in black and white. It was crazy. The amount of canvas that he had for his back was insane, and the whole thing was this really intricate. Again, it looks like someone took a sticker and just smacked it on his back, but blew it up really big and then threw it on his back. It was done really well, and it was really fucking gnarly. I was like, oh my god. And I was talking, it was the chick behind me was really funny. So she had been getting tatted for forever because I was chopping it up with her. She's like, yeah, you know, some of my pieces are 20 plus years old and blah blah blah, and just telling me like her whole thing. And we were talking about that dude. And she's like, dude, he's so fucking big. You could take his skin, like his back piece, and I could wrap it around me as like a blanket. Because yeah, she was like 5'4", 5'5". And I just thought that was mad fucking funny, the visual of that. Because, yeah, you could just fucking cozy. Motherfucker was huge. But, yeah, so we entered the contest. Didn't win, but that's completely understandable. Because there was a lot of really good pieces and a lot of really, really cool people. And I made, not for nothing, we got a compliment, and I made the judges chuckle. So it was like 2 dudes and 1 girl. And I'm pretty sure if memory serves correct, I made the girl laugh, and then, or no. It was the girl gave the compliment, then I made them all chuckle. So the girl liked the color of the tattoo. She's like, oh wow, I like the color on that. And I was like, right, isn't it beautiful? And then I made them all chuckle. I'm like, yeah, you know, this bad boy took 6.5 hours, pretty spicy. I'm like, but not like, you know, it feels good to get tattooed and begin with, or some variation of that. And they all kind of like chuckle and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, all right, thanks, man. Like, thank you guys very much. Have a good one. And then I walked off to the side of the stage. I saw Sarah over there. I was like, what's up? Because it was cool. Because, like, yeah. And then she showed me her POV after I came back down the stairs. But yeah, came over the stairs. The fucking photography dude was being a little bit of a prick. But we'll just say he was being stern. So I was just like, okay, I wasn't understanding because what the way he was trying to explain or the words he was using was not what he wanted you to do. He's like, step down here and rotate this way. So I'm doing that motion. Like, no, back leg, go back up this way. Stand here. So I'm like, okay, I'm going limp and I'm just doing whatever the fuck. And he's like, this leg up here. I'm like, okay, this leg down here. Okay. And then he took the pictures and then walked over to Sarah. And it was kind of funny because I didn't realize, but because it's on my leg down here, the posture that I had, because it was a box about this high, the posture that I was basically like this, just chilling. So she has pictures of me at the judges table. I'm just like this, just, yeah. And then from afar, I see like my other leg and my arm. I'm like, damn, dude, you're fucking tatted. Like, I don't obviously really see myself in third person ever, but that from afar and like almost kind of like zoomed in, I was like, damn, bro, you have a lot of work. But it was funny because I was just like I don't even know what you say, just like Captain Morgan, just fucking foot on the barrel, chilling. But yeah, it was really cool. Met a lot of dope people. Convention was, yeah, it was really fun. And I was just glad to enter it and be a part of it. And there's a lot of cool people there as well. Met a lot of cool people. Got some dope stickers as well. So there was also kind of spicy because, I mean, we're at a casino, booze is flowing. But there was like a pseudo fight, or at least a lot of chest puffing. So I'm up towards where the stage is, and like maybe from a little bit further from where me to you guys are, maybe like 6 to 8 feet away. And this dude's like, man, fuck that guy, fucking pussy, man, fucking buh. I'm just kind of like, huh? Because keep in mind, people, like, there's like kids and shit, and people are like, woo, and like cheering for like whatever's going on stage. I'm looking over, and like he's got homie like holding him back or whatever. He's like, yeah, fuck you, pussy. No, you want to say something, but I fucking hear it. And then I'm like being a nosy little bitch. I'm like, looking over my other shoulder, like, what's going on? I didn't see the dude he was talking about or anything. And I kind of look back in the center. He's like, yeah, fucking right. Whatever the fuck. And I look over at him again. Damn. Made eye contact with dude. He's like, yeah, you fucking pussy. And I look over at him. He just lock eyes for a second. Just immediately look back to the stage. And I'm like, yep, I did not just make eye contact with him. Oh, yeah, that was funny. But yeah, other than that, it was fucking chill. It's just a Sunday. I knew I had to work on Monday, so that was kind of meh. Because it was nice to have the whole 3 days off. So I had worked Monday, and then, yeah, just worked throughout the week. Honestly, nothing too crazy on that front. And now we're just working and working. Like I said, I got work tomorrow. Going to celebrate St. Patty's Day. Work on Monday. I'll be off Tuesday. Probably record some Canvas content on Tuesday. But yeah, that was kind of the recap. I definitely wrote down some more topics. Let's see. Oh, I'm already remembering right now. Okay. I know this shit listens to you and whatever the fuck. But ever since last week and last week's episode talking about the outrageousness of the DMT cards, it's like Instagram heard me and just they're like, oh, you thought that was crazy? Oh, no, you thought that was crazy? So now, okay, so it was DMT cards that you click a link to, goes to a Telegram to join a Telegram, right? So then, not too long after that, I was getting ads of shrooms. Now, to preface this, I'm not talking because before and still currently, I'm getting a lot of coffee alternatives or energy drink alternatives using these blends of different mycelium and mushrooms or whatever, and this is way better for your body than these bullshit things are. Getting a whole bunch of those ads, right? Not those kinds of shrooms. The first ad that I noticed that I screenshotted, good vibes only, and then it's a picture and has the description of albino penis envy, grown organically in Southern California, 4 grams. And then there's like a wavy wigwag pattern in the background, but it's a literal picture of albino penis envy mushrooms. That's fucking shrooms, dog. That's not fucking portobellas. That's not shiitakes. That is quite literally one of the most potent, I don't even know how you say, contains the most psilocybin per weight of like any shroom. Like, you want to get fucked up off some psilocybin, you eat penis envy. The water weight with those hoes, don't eat water weight shrooms, but water weight, oh my god, those things are crazy. Even dried, these things are crazy. But that is shrooms. When I was doing shrooms back in the day, we were doing penis envy and other shits. Like, it wasn't even golden teachers, but like, it was penis envy, and we were tripping balls. So there's an ad on Instagram that just shows a picture, description, and weight, and just saying proudly grown in Southern California. I'm not knocking it. I think it's awesome. How the fuck is this happening? I'm in Arizona. I live in Arizona. How the fuck is there just, like I said last week's, you post a bong, you post a nug, you post whatever the fuck, and you get shadow banned, smited, adult content. But motherfuckers are pushing shrooms out here? Like actual shrooms, not beating around the bush. Literal picture of albino penis envy mushrooms. And then, not to get one upped by that, so then we had from Spores MD, psilocybin spores, Spores MD, albino penis envy, Orissa, Jack Frost, pink buffalo. And it's just a little, like, the seeds themselves, or the spores themselves, similar to seeds like cannabis, those aren't illegal in and of themselves. But basically growing them or activating them, that's what makes them illegal or shady. But motherfucker is literally, the packaging is like trippy, whatever. It is, again, you are literally saying albino penis. There's no beating around the bush. It is literally just, here are the shrooms that'll make you trip balls. Here's a fucking syringe of the spores. On Instagram, as a fucking ad. Literally says, shop fucking now. Sponsored. And it's just a picture of cool, but how the fuck is this happening? And then, not to get one up by that, but then I think yesterday or the day before, and I clicked the link because I had to know more. I had to go beyond just the fucking Instagram ad. So it was I was clicking on stories on Instagram, and it was a story on Instagram sponsored by Mind Bloom, at home ketamine therapy. I'll say it one more time. At home ketamine therapy. With a picture, or the image that I have, is somebody holding a pill bottle with unlabeled pills in them. So then I click the website. I'm like, ain't no fucking way. Are you kidding me? I click the link for the ad. Then it goes to their page, mindblown.com. Why psychedelic therapy? Conventional mental health medication can take weeks or even months to become effective. Ketamine's benefits often begin to appear within hours, and clinical trials with ketamine have shown peak mood elevation about 24 to 36 hours after treatment. Ketamine is the first clinician-prescribed psychedelic treatment prescribed by doctors to help relieve depression, anxiety, chronic pain, PTSD, OCD, and other mental health-related conditions. How the fuck are they selling ketamine on Instagram? Are you fucking kidding me? And then the next screenshot, I've made more progress treating my anxiety and depression with Mind Bloom than 10 plus years of conventional therapy. Achieve your breakthrough with psychedelic medicine. Reduce your anxiety or depression and gain clarity with clinician-prescribed guided experiences at home. Then it has an Am I a Candidate button that you click on, and then okay, I get like Adderall, like prescriptions, and maybe even like opiate prescriptions. How the fuck are you doing at-home ketamine? How the fuck are they mailing you ketamine to your fucking house for you to do? How is this legal? I'm not trying to be a narc. I'm not trying to be a Fed or a Jake. But, like, genuinely, how is this legal? Last that I even heard about this was that MDMA was the closest one as far as using that as potential for psychotherapy, psychedelic therapies. I think they call it psychotherapies. Yes, ketamine in liquid form. I've heard of in the liquid form going to doing ketamine therapies for like severe depression and shit like that at clinics. But I'm pretty sure that was like Canada and like Europe that you could do that shit. I don't even know if we had ketamine clinics here in America like that. But now it's just at home ketamine therapy. How the fuck is that happening? How the fuck is that happening? Like, I am so like beside myself when it like I'll probably get even more bullshit now that I'm ranting and raving about this. But no, fucking DMT carts, shroom spores, at home ketamine therapy. But yet if I go to rip this fucking bong and then post a story or maybe post a thing about it, I might get my thing flagged. Or there's people that have way more actual clout and they do the same thing and then they post a story or whatever about like this post has been flagged. Is the hook is that you're just selling it? Is it because you're paying Instagram? But then okay, no. Because then like I haven't seen any. The closest cannabis thing I've seen is alt cannabinoid companies like High on Nature that I did a video. I think my most recent video on the cannabis channel, Grassroot Rips on YouTube. Check it out. I found them through I think it was Goblin, but then it might have been through Instagram. One of the two. I found them through Instagram, but there's no like cannabis advertising. There's no faux cannabis advertising, i.e., there's no THCA flower that I'm seeing being advertised. There's no Delta 8 carts I'm seeing being advertised. There's no alt cannabinoids smoking of any kind that I'm seeing being advertised. But there's edible cannabinoids, alt cannabinoids being advertised. Fucking way not harder, but way other drugs that I would classify as way more intense than fucking weed. Those all have fucking advertisements for them and are active. Like you can click a link, shop now, go to a page, takes you to offsite. Like I don't even know if I can see ads. If ads exist for a dispensary and I live in a legal state, I don't even know if I can get an ad for like Stizzy or cannabis or cookies or something like that in a legal state. And yet I'm just getting bombarded. And it's not just once or twice. It's multiple times throughout the week since I've talked about this that I've noticed it. So much so that I noticed multiple different companies. Those were two different companies. The Spore Company and the fucking albino penis envies. That's two different fucking companies. Two different fucking companies. But there's slanging shrooms on IG, just on the timeline. I'm not knocking on the game. I'm not hating on it. Keep fucking trucking. But goddamn, how the fuck is that cool or kosher? Yet you try and do a little bit of weed, and that is just seen as the worst. I don't understand at all. Honestly, I don't. Maybe it's a fucking trap. Maybe it's like a honeypot. Maybe it's like a clear web honeypot. They're like, okay, yeah, if any asshole's dumb enough to try and buy shrooms through Instagram off an Instagram ad, we're definitely gonna clap them. And maybe that's what they're trying to do. I don't fucking know. I don't trust it. That seems shady as fuck. Hell, I don't even buy alt cannabinoid shit like flour, because even that could be a little sussy. So they were slanging spores and just fucking having a grand time, ketamine therapy at home. Huh? I am, yeah. No, I just thought that, I still think that's crazy. Was there any other screenshots that I had? No, that was it. Okay. Yeah. Fucking DMT cart, shrooms, ketamine. Get it all, dude. Fuck it. Why not? UnTTV, believable guy. Yeah, I just had to pop off about that because I'm like, what? How? What are we doing here? TTV, what are we doing? Okay, and then that's right. I have some couple others. So we'll get into the spicy fun one. So, so I was watching a fabulous video the other day, and it was a news-related video about just whatever. And in that video, shout out Internet Today, in their video, they mentioned somebody that I hadn't heard of for almost coming on 10 years now, right? They brought up the lovely woman formerly known as Rachel Dolezal. Now, if that is vaguely like ring, ring, ring in your brain, you're like, oh, that sounds familiar. That was the woman who in 2015 was discovered to have basically pretending to be black, but she was in a super high level position within the NAACP in, I believe, Washington State. So the NAACP is basically, I forget what the acronym stands for, but it's basically huge thing with like people of color and helping with like their rights and legislation, all this kind of shit. Big fucking deal. And in 2015, she was exposed for being not even any amount of even like the meme of like 2%, like nothing at all. She's basically black facing all the way up to the top. She got fucking canned. Hadn't heard shit from her since then, right? And that was when a wee little Evan way back in the day, right? And I remember hearing that, and I was like, damn, I haven't thought about her in a minute. So this year, maybe like a month ago, a couple weeks ago, turns out after the fallout from all of that, it turns out she moved to Arizona and became a teacher. You know why I know this? And why you're now knowing this? Because she was fired from her position as a teacher because she had an Instagram. Or not Instagram, so that'd be funny. She had an OnlyFans. An OnlyFans is, think of a social media platform, except where the content, it can be more safe for work, but it can be more explicit, in which it is like a subscription program where it's either you can pay for like monthly or you can pay per post or per media thing, depending on what the content creator themselves sets up monetarily, right? So she wasn't posting little toe pics or doing little bikini pics or like little try-ons, clothing hauls, nothing like that. She was posting straight butthole on the timeline, apparently. Like, just letting it all fly. And, I mean, good for her. Yeah, that's wild. I wonder if I have the article screenshotted or looked up. I don't think I do. She completely changed her fucking name to something like nowhere near Rachel Dolezal, which I thought was really fucking funny because she's like, "Get me away from this." Okay, yeah, no, I did not. She changed her name to something completely different. I don't even know how this necessarily got out or found out, but she was a teacher in elementary school for like younger kids. I didn't think any of the kids knew or found out, and that's how she got exposed or anything like that. But yeah, according to like reports and stuff, she had a pretty spicy OnlyFans page, and as a result got fired and is no longer teaching in the state of Arizona. So I'm hoping this might in some way help her financially. Maybe this could put more eyes on the OF and get, help her out with the situation. But yeah, I thought that was fucking crazy and mad funny in a way that, yeah, here's somebody who was huge in the news like 10 years ago, never really thought much more past that or about them, and then the next thing you fucking hear about them, oh yeah, they got fired for being a teacher for a spicy OnlyFans. Like, what? That's what you've been doing since then? What? Yeah, I thought that was crazy. And here of all places, in Arizona, she could have been fucking anywhere, but here in Arizona, in my backyard, they fucking clocked her. Like I said, I hope on Rachel's part, I hope for her or whatever she goes by now, I forget her new name. Uh, I hope it's successful for her, cause hey, maybe teaching just wasn't meant to be. Maybe it just wasn't in the cards to be a teacher. Oh, god damn it. I just think that's so funny. And if it couldn't even, of course, it couldn't have been like mild, tame, whatever. Because there's girls I'm sure that make mad money or a decent amount of money that don't necessarily have to put it all out there. I mean, I know statistically most of these motherfuckers make like $100 or something like that. Like something depressing, like $100 a month or something like that. So you got girls just on the timeline just posting butthole and titty pics and all that kind of shit. And they're making like $100 a month and like getting cast away from their families and shit like that for like $100 a month, and that's depressing. But I didn't know that Rachel Dolezal was also in that league of spicy, where she's just for $5, it can be yours. Oh man, yeah, I thought that was crazy, and I think let's see what else we got written down. I believe yes. So the last topic I had written down was I was reading this really fascinating magazine during the week at work, in between it being like really slow and boring and shit. And I learned a lot of different shit about it that was cool, that made even more sense and helped even more with an understanding of myself and the way I work and whatnot. And it was just a lot of things that I knew about myself, but I didn't know were prevalent also with other people that have it. The main things I can remember looking back at was the actually, I don't think I think I have pictures of it. I'm pretty sure I took pictures of the specific pages. Yes, I did. Where was it? Oh, that was a big one. The analysis paralysis one. So that the first one was the temper one. So I can be hot headed. I can get pretty volcanic and melt down even now at the more grown age of almost 25. But I've always kind of been like that. I've always kind of just had a boiling point where I just hit a certain level and just kind of explode, and then it's not until after that I calm the fuck down. But I'm reading this, and I flipped to a page that's tempering a bad temper. A link between ADHD and anger explained. While anger isn't officially listed as a symptom of ADHD, symptoms of the condition can trigger feelings of rage in many people. About 70% of adults with ADHD report being more impatient and quick to anger than those without ADHD. And that, for me personally, is very fucking true. Especially when I don't eat for long periods of time or I'm hungry, I can be very snappy. Even fucking today, not outwardly at times, but like even today, I had a middle of the road day. It wasn't good, wasn't bad, just middle of the road, nice interactions, whatever the fuck. And there were still little things where, like, somebody, let's say a coworker, is like, "Oh yeah, and by the way, just don't forget to do that." Blah 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 blah. And then in my head for like a second, I'm like, "Man, I know what the fuck to do. You don't have to fucking tell me that bullshit. I'm not fucking new here." And then immediately I'm like, "Oh, dude, like, chill the fuck out. It's not that crazy." So, but I've always not always been like that specifically. But that's just an example of, yeah, I not like I intentionally try and white knuckle shit and then explode, but I'll be doing something as fucking technology. Everything will go fine. I'm doing technology just fine, and then someone will fuck up, and then that will just really get my goat. And I'm like, why are you not working the way you're supposed to? And that will just spiral me to get even more fucking angry. Why are you not working the way you're supposed to? And it's hard for me to just walk away because I have like the gambler's fallacy of rage where it's like I'm right fucking there. I just need this one more thing and then it'll be solved. So if I walk away now, I'm not going to fix it, but I'm right fucking there. So that puts me even more in a loop, in a cycle of being angry at that thing because I'm spending more time being frustrated trying to figure it out. And it's a self perpetuating cycle. It's not very easy, or it's more difficult to try and fix something when you're getting fucking pissed off and annoyed at it than if you just try and come back at it with a level head, right? So I was reading this, I was like, damn, 70% of people, 7 out of 10, holy shit. And then this article covers the link between ADHD and anger and how ADHD triggers anger, how to manage anger as a person with ADHD, and how to prevent angry outbursts. So the relationship. Emotional dysregulation, difficulty managing emotions, is a major part of living with ADHD for both adults and children. Studies have shown that about 70% of people with ADHD are likely to feel more impatient than those without. They also feel more frustration than those without. Adults and children with ADHD are more likely to have angry outbursts, feel impatient, defy authority, be irritable, experience conflict, be more excitable, feel emotions more intensely, and deal with more stress and anxiety. Because ADHD affects impulse control, it can impact emotional responses like anger. This may include people with ADHD having difficulty regulating responses to frustration and impatience, controlling emotions, regulating anger and anger responses, and with speaking before thinking. Yeah, the reading that shit, I was like, damn, dude, that's fuck yeah. It can be little and it's crazy because like the job that I work, what I get paid mainly to do is customer service and tedious bullshit, whatever the fuck, and that's fine. And people, my coworkers, people will tell me like, dude, I don't know how you deal with that. I don't know whatever the fuck like you deal with that. And to me, I'm like, I don't know, water off a duck's ass. Like I don't fucking care. But like in my own time, or if it's like behind the scenes, if you will, or personal, and like I'm trying to get a file to work and the file's not uploading or the file's corrupting, and I'm like, why isn't the file doing the thing? And then now I'm like, I'm fucking blowing up because this file's not working right. But then people at work have literally been like, you're so happy. I don't think I've ever seen you angry, blah, 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 blah. And of course, that is part of the image that I put on at work, and you can't necessarily be that whatever. But even with being like hangry and whatnot, I've never outwardly been like that. But I guess, yeah, by myself or at home, whatever, there'll be shit that'll just get me and I'll fucking gone, just gone. And then, again, it's not even necessarily like I'm white knuckling or trying to. It'll just be that one thing that'll just set me off, and it's hard for me to get off of that. It's like a dog with a bone. It's very hard for me to like let go of that shit in the moment because it's just pissing me off. And then I'll stew more about it and I'll think about more of it frustrating and pissing me off, and it just keeps leading into this negative cycle. So it says people with ADHD can also feel overwhelmed by things like daily responsibilities, time management, relationship difficulties, and stimulating environments. This can create frustration, which is linked to outbursts and irritability. 2017 Yale study found that the majority of ADHD medications do not increase irritability. However, amphetamine-derived medications, namely Adderall, can increase the chances of irritability. So yeah, I'm not even on medication or anything like that. And I tried medication and it didn't necessarily work, or maybe I just wasn't doing the best for it. Um, but yeah, I was like, damn, dude, that is, and the time management too. I don't know how, but me and time are just fucked up. I'll leave somewhere that's like 10 minutes away. I'll leave 15 minutes early, and then I'll end up 5 minutes late, and I don't fucking know how because I'm taking. I don't fucking know, but I'm just me and time management have always been bad, and especially as an adult, like without having my mom and the structure of school, and when I was younger, of like being at a place at a time. As soon as I was an adult, and like my first couple jobs, holy shit, I wouldn't even try. It just becomes memes. I'm just always fucking late. The current job I'm at, I'm always fucking late, and that's how it was when I worked at Five Guys, and that's how it was when I worked at a restaurant job before that. And it's not like I'm setting out to be this late asshole, but I just fucking am. And I forget. I've heard it somewhere before, I forget. But it's like, this asshole will be late to his own funeral. And I fucking will be. Like, it's crazy, but I don't even try with that. Like, I'm not trying to be an asshole with time, but in just all faculties, friends, family, school, work, I'm just always fucking late, and I don't know what it is. I guess I just need to fucking turn my clock like 10 minutes before what I think I need to do. Because goddamn, whatever I'm doing is not fucking working. But it continues on to say, what can trigger anger and how to manage it? For people with ADHD, anger triggers can include being in an overstimulating environment, being interrupted, having to switch tasks, rejection, frustration with organization and time management, relationship issues, authority figures, restlessness, fatigue, emotionally charged situations, and stress. Many techniques can help people with ADHD manage anger, including, I won't go into them, but cognitive behavioral therapy, mindfulness, sleeping regularly, exercise, meditation, breathing deeply, and social skills therapy. So I admittedly I have an asshole schedule. I don't sleep very regularly, and I probably could use some meditation, deep breathing, exercise, and mindfulness. So we'll definitely have to maybe tap into that. But yeah, it was just very. There's other pages that I took screenshots of that I thought were profound too. Oh yeah, the other one that was pertaining to. So it was so nice reading, and I guess the point of these things is to let people that have this or not even know necessarily that they have it, like, hey, if this is whatever, then other people feel this way too. I didn't realize until reading this, and I personally, especially when I was younger, when I was in my teens, especially, it was really hard. I got what I thought was just analysis paralysis, but what it is basically it's a thing that happens with people with ADHD because our brains are wired, and it's called ADHD paralysis or ADHD freeze. So I'll read it and explain more of my experience about it. But reading this was very enlightening because I was like, holy shit, it's not just me. Because, like I said, in high school, especially, I would get it really bad where I would have like I'd sit there and I'd have endless amount of time and endless things to do, but I wouldn't know where to start. It was like the amount of options and choices that I had felt so limiting, even though I had so many. I couldn't choose because there were so many. And then I'd spend my time not doing anything but being overwhelmed with how many different options to start. Or I'd start something and then change and do something else. Start something, change it, do something else, with this nagging fear in the back of my head that I could be doing something better, watching something better, doing something else than whatever the fuck I was doing currently or whatever thing I had, right? So the article says, in ADHD, the feeling that you have so much to do that you can't make yourself do anything is often described as the ADHD paralysis or ADHD freeze. What looks like laziness or procrastination on the outside can feel like an extremely distressing episode of being trapped in your own head. Here's what it feels like. Here's what it feels like, why it happens, and some strategies for breaking yourself out of the paralysis episode, or from preventing it in the first place. From the outside, it looks like you're just sitting there doing nothing, but that feeling like you can't move and sometimes can't speak is incredibly stressful. Internally, you're racing through a bunch of tasks, decisions, or information that you need to process, or maybe you're just obsessing over that one task you have to do. But somehow, getting yourself to get up and do it, or anything else, feels like an impossible feat. Paralysis can manifest as the following symptoms: avoiding or procrastinating on important tasks or decisions, feeling uncertain of how or where to start, overthinking the problem, feeling like your mind goes blank whenever you try to start, and wanting to move or speak, but feeling like you can't will your body to do it. In a brain that struggles to prioritize, it often feels like whatever you're doing at that moment is whatever you're not doing at that moment is the thing you should actually be doing. The feeling can be so strong that you can't focus on any task because you're overwhelmed by the sense that you should be doing something else. You end up sitting motionless on the couch or in bed, wishing you would just get up and do something. When I read that, I felt a wave of relief wash over me of like, oh my fucking God. Like, first it was the anger, and that was a few pages before. I was like, oh shit, it's not just me being a fucking hothead fucking ginger. Like, I'm actually, there's more of an explanation behind why it's like that. And then reading this, I was like, dude, I had no fucking clue. Thankfully now, like, I've gotten older. Maybe I've just developed better strategies, or maybe my brain's developed more. But I really suffered through that a lot more, especially going through high school and when I was younger. Of I just wouldn't be able to do anything because I, like it said, I didn't know where to start. I felt like I should be doing something else instead of what I'd be doing. I would procrastinate. There would be full blown procrastination. I'd wait till the last day or the night before it was a due to actually do the thing. But yeah, reading this, I was like, dude, what the fuck? That's exactly my experience. This is so relieving to find out that, oh my God, I'm not the only one. And like, this is a throwback to one of the first episodes when I first started doing this podcast channel. But it was when I found out like the flavor of mental illness that I had being like PDD and stuff like that, which is just a long-term chronic depression. When I found that out through going to a psychiatrist and through taking medication, that the kind of sadness that I feel, or my gray time, whatever the fuck, to explain it to people that may not experience it, it's not just in the moment reaction to something. It's more of just a long-term chronic thing, right? That felt relieving because now I can finally feel like, okay, I know what I'm up against. I know what I can do to whatever. Reading this gave me that same feeling a few years later that I felt after being officially diagnosed with ADHD and taking medication for depression. Was that like, damn, dude, it's not just you. The way you're experiencing life might be subjective to yourself, but also there's all these other people that are having very similar experiences to you. So it's not just you. And it explains in this article, like, part of the problem or difficulty that women and girls face that have ADHD is that it's way more underdiagnosed. And statistically, or on average, the women and girls tend to be the inward type of ADHD and not outward. So there's ones where it's like, think of a rambunctious little boy, little Evan running around, can't shut the fuck up. That's a very obvious hyperactivity ADHD that teachers and parents can recognize and whatever. But the girls, they'll have an internal one, or the women will have an internal one where they just can't focus, they're daydreaming, they're lost in their head, but they're sitting, they're being quiet. Nobody, you can't really tell what's going on with them, right? So it was not until reading this and finding out, like, it's not just you. Here's all these other people that also go through with it, go through and deal with it as well. And another fascinating thing that I read in this article was that there were people, uh, and because of the pandemic, there was a huge spike in the use of medication. I think Adderall went from like 2% to over 40% during the pandemic, like prescriptions or whatever the fuck. So that ballooned because of the pandemic. But a lot of people, adults specifically, found out that they had ADHD. And in the thing, it said people fucking 60s, 70s, even in their 80s, realizing that they have ADHD or they have symptoms of it. Or not symptoms because it's not an illness, but they have traits or characteristics of it. Because it's not a disease, it's not something that you can catch or that you were necessarily given. It's just when we were being born and cooked in the oven, our temperature was just a little off. So now we're still complete, we're still cooked fully, but we're just a little bit different. Just a little bit different. But yeah, there's another part of it as well that also was very illuminating to myself. That is, there's an activity called stimming, which is just slang or short for like doing an activity that is stimulating for people that have ADHD and for also people similarly that have autism. And those are two different things, but there is overlap. So you can have autism and ADHD, but just because you have ADHD doesn't mean you're on the spectrum or whatever the fuck. So apparently, I didn't even realize, but apparently, a big thing that people on the spectrum do, and some people with ADHD also tend to do, are activities and whatnot that you can do it for a myriad of reasons, but there's different categories of these activities that you do for a myriad of reasons, whether it be a self-soothing activity, like in people with autism, or it can help. It might be, I guess what you call like an automatic thing that you don't really think about. You just are doing it subconsciously, consciously, or whatever the fuck. There's different things of it. And so it was breaking down by like touch, sound, sight, different kinds of stimulus and activities that people do for whatever. And the very first thing was touch, and the very first thing after that was nail biting. And that, as soon as I read that, I was like, oh shit. Oh shit. Because my whole life, like literally my whole life, up until sometime last year, I've always been like chronically bit my nails. Like my last holdout is this fucking nail. I chronically, my whole life, my mom says even as a baby, I was biting my nails, I had my fingers in my mouth and shit. My whole life, will confidently call 23 plus years of nail biting, and it was never consciously. It's not like, oh, I'm stressed out, let me bite my nails, or oh, whatever this, let me bite my nails. 93% of the time I'm doing something and not even realizing that my fingers in my mouth, and I'm just whatever, especially if it's something passive, like I'm watching something or I don't have to be using my hands. It's just not even hungry. I could have just ate and I'm watching the movie and then boom, finger in the mouth. And it's scary because most of the time I don't even notice it. I don't even realize it until I'm mid doing it or like whatever with it. So finding that as a thing that people also do, that was, I was like, holy fuck. No, okay. So it's not that I thought I was the only person that nailed it, but finding out that the reason why was because it was linked to this, I was like, are you fucking kidding me? And thankfully, now I've been able to get them growing. My left hand's, everybody's good. It's just my right hand, my last holdout is my index finger. This last little dude, I don't know what it is about it. Again, sometimes and sometimes it's a physical urge. Like, not, I don't even, it's hard to describe, but sometimes it's like, I feel like I have to bite it, or not even else, like, or else, pal. I just feel like I have to fucking, man, like this one more little bit. Like, if I get this little, it's a gambler's thing. If I get this one more little bit of the fingernail, then that, I'll be done right there. I'll be done right there. And then I get that little bit. I'm like, well, now that that little bit's gone, there's just this little bit more. And the next thing I know, I'm fucking chomping and chewing on my fucking fingers until they look like cave fingers. And yeah, that shit's not hot, Chief. Nobody likes that shit. So thankfully, I've been able to grow out everybody else. I've just had this last holdout, which is this guy. But yeah, literally the first thing that had to do with these activities: touch, nail biting, other bullshit like hair pulling, hair eating, whatever the fuck. And I was like, damn, bro. So that's where that shit came from. Because I've just been doing it, dog. I've just been doing it. I've spent way much more of my life doing it than not doing it. But like all habits, it's hard to break, but we're breaking it. I remember trying all kinds of bullshit. We'd put on like almost kind of like a nail polish. It was like clear, but then it would taste very like bitter and chemically, and that was supposed to be like a deterrent. I wouldn't give a fuck, dude. I wouldn't give a fuck. I'd still chew my nails with that shit on. Like it was bad, and I never really thought about that much reflection of why I do it or why I did it. But it was something I was just always doing. But my hands and my fingers look way better. I feel way better. I can actually scratch myself and shit. Because before, with just nubs, you're just rubbing yourself using friction. And that's cringe too. I mean, that just rubbing yourself instead of being able to scratch, ugh, not fun, Chief. But yeah, we're working on this, dude. That'll be one of the goals of the year, to have all the fingers and thumbs fleshed out. We'll be good. But yeah, I just reading through the article or the magazine, whatever you want to call it, it was just really illuminating, and it was really cool. I don't know, I don't have a term. It was very rewarding, learning more about myself that not necessarily I didn't know, but that it was related to something that I had no idea. Like, obviously, me being the fucking king yapper of all time and being able to fucking do this, that obviously is a more outward form of the hyperactivity and whatever that is typically associated with ADHD. But I had no idea about the anger and the nail biting and like the analysis paralysis and not being able to choose things. I had no idea the time relationship stuff. I had no idea that that wasn't just me and a result of my dysfunction, but it's just generally the way our brains work and the way our brains are wired. And another thing that was also linked with that I was reading, which I already knew before, but is just another reassurance, is that a lot of people that have ADHD also have like depression and anxiety, one or the other, or both, and that. So, it's just more neurodivergent behavior, I guess you'd say, or atypical. Just their brains are just wired a little bit differently, which I think is fucking ketamine as an ad. What the fuck, dude? Because I've thought about doing ketamine for in the clinical thing for treating my depression or helping with that. Because a few times in my life, I've had a glimpse through the curtains, or like the clouds have parted, and I've experienced what it's felt like, what I would assume what y'all more normal people feel like. And that was awesome. I was like, damn, so this is what it feels like? This is tits. I've had that a few times in my life. So it's definitely something as I get older and like working on myself and everything, I want to look into more. Same thing with like MDMA therapy, using that as well. Because it's not like I have a crazy form of it, thankfully. It was definitely a lot worse when I was younger and growing up, but I think a large part, like my brain is this year going to be fully cooked. I think that has definitely had an effect on it over the years. It's not as bad as it used to be. But yeah, it would be definitely nice to explore other avenues and stuff to be able to try and heal myself more whole. I don't think about giving pharmaceuticals a try again, because I wasn't taking the medication as like prescribed, I guess. Wasn't abusing it. I was not taking it as, be like, take it every day, sweaty, and I take it like, oh, forgot Monday and Tuesday, whatever, I'll take it Wednesday, that kind of thing. I wasn't taking fucking blowing through a whole 30 pill script in 2 days or whatever. But yeah, I just wasn't taking my medication. And then the ADHD, that shit got annoying. The medication prescription got annoying because all you assholes out there, because you want to get fucking study the night before a big old test or whatever, you're railing all this Adderall, taken away from people like us who actually need it, you prick. Anyway, did Ritalin, did Adderall, did methadone, venlafaxine. Pretty much went through all of them. And for a little bit, some of them helped, but overall, not really that much. So it'd be nice to get back into medication, or a big thing. I just like to go to therapy. I feel like that would help as well. Just therapy. But I feel like that in combination of just living a better lifestyle and then actually doing things for myself to better myself, instead of just, because it is a self-defeating cycle of me getting in my own way and being my own worst enemy. So I want to be able to, in my times where I'm out of that pit of fighting myself, I'd like to use that to tap in, or even just grab somebody else to help me pull myself out and be like, hey, let's get out of this, because this isn't good right now. Because at a point in time, I was going to therapy and I did have medication, but it wasn't the right time in my life, and I wasn't, I guess, ready for it, because I just wasn't taking, not necessarily it seriously, but I just wasn't doing what I would be doing now if I was going to therapy, or if I was being medicated still. So that might be something I look into this year. Um, we'll see. We'll see. Because I'll be 25, so I'm getting kicked off my parents, me mummy's insurance this year. So that'll be fun. So we'll figure out fucking insurance bullshit and adulting later. But yeah, I'll think about that. But yeah, it was just enlightening reading that, and it was cool to see that it's not just my behavior or the way I behave, but it is also typical, and other people have felt a similar way. It feels nice to know that you're not the only person going through something. I feel like everyone can relate to that. It's like, oh, I'm not the only one that does that. Cool. Thanks. Let's see. Ooh, okay, okay. Okay, it's been a dirty little, probably, like an hour or so? Maybe an hour and some change. I say we shall take a nice little Rippy Poo Thaniel and get into some circle time reading, shall we? Ah, fuck, I forgot. I gotta write down what we talked about in this episode. Dun, 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 dun. And my headphones on. Fuck, I don't know even what I would caption this. Yeah, you know what? That's for later, Evan. I'll do this while we're live. Yeah, I'll have to figure out a caption for it later. Yeah, we're going in on some. Honestly, at this point, I have no fucking clue. We just smoke all kinds of shit. We got all kinds of flavors, all kinds of strains. I'm gonna light the holy herb, the incense here. Okay. That'll be chooching like that. Oop. All right. Well, I hope y'all are ripping with me, tripping with me, sipping with me. To all my sober soldiers out there, I salute y'all. This bowl is for you. Cheers, everybody. Is the wind blowing opposite? What the fuck is that? Some bullshit, if you ask me. Unbelievable, pal. Okay. We'll read from the bottom and then we'll start on this page. Okay. A Greek gentleman of magical persuasion once wanted a woman who would satisfy his every desire, and so, obsessed with the unfound object of his dreams was he, that he went about constructing such a wonderful creature. His work completed, he fell so convincingly and irrevocably in love with the woman he had created, that she no longer was stone, but mortal flesh and live and warm. And so the Magus Pygmalion received the greatest of magical benedictions, and the beautiful Galatea was his. You want to go out, Dynamite? Not a fan of the incense? Yeah, I understand, baby. Yeah, you know what? I'll put you in my room. I will be right back, everybody. Come here, Dynamite. Come here, baby. What should we do? Oh, I know you're screaming. I know. I promise. I'm doing it for you, baby. I gotcha. I gotcha. Yeah, I gotcha, baby. I gotcha, baby. Here you go. Here you go. You'll be safe and sound. Okay. I don't wanna hurt me. My headphones on. I am invincible. My headphones on. Okay. D. Direction. One of the most overlooked ingredients in the working of magic is the accumulation and subsequent direction of force toward an effective end. Altogether, too many would-be witches and warlocks will perform a ritual and then go about with tremendous anxiety, waiting for the first sign of successful working. For all intent and purpose, they might as well get down on their knees and pray, for their very anxiety and waiting for the desired results only nullifies any real chance of success. Furthermore, with this attitude, it's doubtful that enough concentrated energy to even perform a proper ceremony could be stored up in the first place. To dwell upon or constantly complain about the situation upon which your ritual would be based only guarantees the weakening of what should be ritualistically directed force by spreading it thin and diluting it. Once the desire has been established strongly enough to employ the forces of magic, then every attempt must be made to symbolically give vent to these wishes in the performance of the ritual, not before or after. I repeat, once the desire has been established strongly enough to employ the forces of magic, then every attempt must be made to symbolically give vent to those wishes in the performance of the ritual, not before or after. The purpose of the ritual is to free the magician from thoughts that would consume them were they to dwell upon them constantly. Contemplation, daydreaming, and constant scheming burns up emotional energy that could be gathered together in a dynamically usable force. Not to mention the fact that normal productivity is severely depleted by such consuming anxiety. The witch who casts her spells between long waits by the telephone, anticipating her would-be lover's call, the destitute warlock who invokes Satan's blessing, then waits on pins and needles for the check to arrive, the man, saddened by the injustices wrought upon him, who, having cursed his enemy, plods his way long of face and furrowed of brow, all are common examples of misdirected emotional energy. Small wonder that the white magician fears retribution after casting an evil spell. Retribution to the guilt-ridden sender would be assured by their very conscience-stricken state. E. The balance factor. The balance factor is an ingredient employed in the practice of ritual magic, which applies to the casting of lust and compassion rituals more than in the throwing of a curse. This ingredient is a small but extremely important one. A complete knowledge and awareness of this factor is an ability few witches and warlocks ever attain. This is simply knowing the proper type of individual and situation to work your magic on for the easiest and best results. Knowing one's own limitations is a rather odd bit of introspection, it would seem, for a person who should be able to form the impossible. But okay, I really can't. Knowing one's own limitation is a rather bit of introspection, it would seem, for a person who would be able to perform the impossible. But, under many conditions, it can make the difference between success and failure. If, in attempting to attain your goal through either greater or lesser magic, you find yourself failing consistently, think about these things. Have you been the victim of a misdirected, overblown ego which has caused you to want something or someone when the chances are virtually non-existent? Are you a talentless, tone deaf individual who's attempting through magic to receive great acclaim for your unmusical voice? Are you a plain, glamourless witch with oversized feet, nose, and ego, combined with an advanced case of acne, who is casting love spells to catch a handsome young movie star? Are you a gross, lumpy, lewd-mouthed, snaggle-toothed loafer who is desirous of a luscious young stripper? If so, you'd better learn to use the bounce factor, or else expect to fail constantly. To be able to adjust one's wants to one's capabilities is a great talent, and too many people fail to realize that if they are unable to attain the maximum, a half a loaf can be better than none, end quote. The chronic loser is always the person who, having nothing if unable to make $1,000,000, will reject any chance to make 50 grand without a disgruntled sneer. One of the magician's greatest weapons is knowing themselves, their talent, abilities, physical attractions and detractions, etc., and when and where and with whom to utilize them. The man with nothing to offer, or the individual with nothing to offer, who approaches the other individual who is successful with grandiose advice and promise of great wealth, has the alacrity. What the fuck? You goddamn nerd. I don't know what the fuck that means. Now I gotta fucking Google bullshit. Okay.
Alacrity. Alacrity.
Brisk and cheerful readiness. What an asshole. The man with nothing to offer who approaches, or the person with nothing to offer who approaches the other person who is successful with grandiose advice and promise of great wealth, has the half readiness, whatever, of the flea climbing up the elephant's leg with the intention of SA. The aspiring witch who deludes herself into thinking that a powerful enough working will always succeed despite a magical imbalance is forgetting one essential rule. Magic is like nature itself, and success in magic requires working in harmony with nature, not against it. Ooh, should we? Yeah, no, okay, this is gonna be a spicy ass part, and we're decently far in. We're like probably $1.20, closer to $1.30. It's 12:30. I want to get to streaming. We'll put a pin in it here, but next week's episode will be the satanic ritual. Oh, I just ripped the page. Oh, that's sad. No, it's stupid. My headphones on. Yeah, okay. Damn, that's annoying. Get some tape for it. Oh no, God cursed me. He ripped my page. Fuck. Alright, let's see. If y'all made it to this point, well, thank y'all for even getting to this point if you've made it this far. I appreciate y'all. If you've made it this far, type in or put the little emoji candle. I'm looking at a red candle, so just candle. That's how I know you're a real one. But yeah, thank y'all for tuning in for another week's episode, and I will see y'all in the next one. Peace.